And we are underway with the first section of the women's 3,000 meters. And Abby Wheeler is scheduled to be our pace setter for this group. The first of 7 runs at this distance.
Phil, this is a great heat of competitors. Taylor Werner enters with the fastest seed time in 8:52. Now running for Puma Elite Running Team. She ran at Arkansas, was SEC Runner of the Year in 2019, but she's not the only one. Tori Gerlach, who recently joined the Tin Man Elite Track Club out of Boulder, is in this heat, coming in with an 8:54 seed. She was a 4-time All-American at Penn State, so no stranger to the bank turns. And a couple other names to watch out for come from from Binghamton, from the collegiate ranks. Emily Mackey is another to watch out for. Run 15:44 here in December. She's also run 4:32 for the mile and comes in with an 8:55 seed time. So plenty of fast competitors in this race, following their pacemaker with the number 4. That's Abby Wheeler in the front.
So 70 seconds for the first 400 meters. And Brandon, you mentioned Tin Man Elite, Tori Gerlach, steeplechaser at Penn State. So she knows this 3,000 meter distance. And Joan Hunter, who is now in charge of Tin Man Elite, bringing in a number of athletes to Boston this weekend. Again, put them on a fast track. Let's see how that outdoor training has been going. Another 35 and change lap. So it is Wheeler and then Madeline Strandemo.
We had a couple athletes in the original list as well from Northern Arizona Elite. I imagine they didn't make the trip with the weather. That would be Catherine Mosserman and Danielle Shanahan. But still, 4 athletes seated below 4 in this section, and most of the rest of the field right at 9 flat. So that would be kind of seemingly the goal, to be right in that area as they come through at 2:21, 2:22 at 800 meters.
So checking in the number 3rd spot is Emma Grace Hurley from the Atlanta Track Club Elite. And they are set up like a locomotive. Single file on the inside. And if you take a good look at the track, you can see that it won't be too long until we put a new surface on this oval. It definitely has started to show a little bit of wear, but it is still lightning fast.
Yeah, it's almost 2 decades old at this point. And you can see it, especially that inside track. This is not a Mondo surface, so it doesn't tear up the same way that the Mondo kind of does, but you can see where the footsteps kind of pave a little bit of a path.
And I believe, if my memory is right, when I talked to Gabe Sanders about it, the director of the track and field and cross country here, that it's going to be a almost like a ground up restoration type of project. So it's not just putting the new running surface on. They're going to make certain that everything underneath is as it should be, and it keeps producing the fast times like in the women's mile today with 10 under 4:40.
It's really become a claim to fame for Boston University. It's a sport that isn't quite national. It's kind of popular in pockets of the country, but it's become a destination. You heard Alexa talk about it a few minutes ago, her first time here, and plenty of athletes come specifically for it. So it makes sense why they'd reinvest.
So Wheeler stepping aside, 4:10 split. Through 1,400.
If you're Emma Hurley, who is in 3rd now, I wonder if you're kind of already doing the math as the race shakes out. Okay, do I want to be in 2nd, or would I rather be 3rd? So when 1st leaves, then I'm in 2nd, and the calculations all run through your head. There's time to think in this race, but there's not too much time that you can do a whole lot of math. You do have to be able to adjust and make moves decisively.
There goes Tori Gerlach moving up toward the front. They went through in 4:48. So the pace has slowed just a little bit, and we do get some movement in positions 2 through 6. Gerlach now sitting 4th.
Yeah, that's Taylor Werner, who just moved up on the back straightaway, wearing hip 6 for Puma Elite Running Team. Looks like she's gonna take the lead or get close to it. She is gonna move in front on that straightaway. Just methodically, okay, I'm gonna get most of my ground on the back straightaway, then I'll get to the front straightaway and move up. She didn't really have to run outside on the turns at all, and looks very smooth taking over the pace. She's been below 9 multiple times in her career. Ran a 15:11 5K her last time here at this track, which is blazing fast, especially in indoors where some athletes do run faster than their outdoor PRs on this track, but an impressive feat nonetheless. And she looks very good coming through the front straightaway.
So Taylor Werner, who was a talent in the high school ranks, took that to Arkansas and has herself about a 5-meter gap right now. Tori Gerlach, once again, a Penn State Nittany Lion with a strong career there. And the tight procession of runners has definitely stretched out just a little bit. So Werner, it seems like, is stretching that rubber band. And Sven Demo in second, Gerlach in third. And Brandon, you mentioned earlier about when someone was sitting in a close second, do they go, when do they move? Here as the laps tick away, those in second and third, how much more gap are they going to allow Taylor Werner to take?
And how much can they physically make that gap up too? At a point in the race where it's really easy mentally to say, you know what, my race is right here, I'm not even gonna worry about her, I'm sticking to my pace and my guns. But if you let it go too much, you could fall off your pace pretty easily with how much fatigue is in your leg. You almost have to mentally speed up in order to keep pace, let alone advance your pace at this point in the race.
And someone who has run well here, Annie Rodenfels, represents Boston Athletic Association, moves up into second place. And maybe she saw that she put her rangefinder on Taylor Werner and realized that that gap is really growing. And she's going to lead the chase group.
Her teammate, Abby Wheeler, also in that Adidas blue, was the one who led this race at the beginning and took us out through about the first third of the race. Now Rodenfels has got some work to do, but looks very strong and has strung out that second group. Strendemo also going with there in third.
Bell Lab. Taylor Werner's race, if she wants to win it, she's going to have to hold off Annie Rodenfels.
She was at 8:20 with a lap to go, so barring some sort of collapse, they'll be under 9 minutes. The question is how far as the gap begins to close just a little bit.
Not enough track, I don't believe, for Rodenfels to completely close it, but she's trying.
Wow.
Here she comes. She's done it before with a closing rush. Will she do it again? She does. Werner, I don't believe, knew she was there. And Lancer timing says Rodenfels 8:52.84. 0.02 of a second back is Werner.
Wow. And you know, we only have a certain amount of athletes here. Sprint athletes have headed out of the building. So there wasn't a huge swell. It was a very, very quick move. It was a guerrilla attack in the middle of the night. You didn't feel it or see it coming if you're Werner. Even if there was something left in the tank, maybe it didn't get fully squeezed out, because until the very, very last minute, there was nobody there. There was no footsteps coming, no crowd indication of here comes the big suck up. It just happened, and what a really, really fast close. I mean, we saw the kind of move on the back straightaway, and it just